to the main stage program, that means it's time for us to start right on time.
Yeah,
but really,
it's her time. So
for really to celebrate Tom, we should all be giving Paul some shit right now.
That is true.
Damn it, Paul!
You had to talk so long.
I don't need to tell you where the recycling containers are. That's another program.
Yeah.
So where are the bathrooms?
Shut up! I had enough of you last night.
Yeah, no kidding. So did I.
Everybody had enough.
Like years ago.
Thanks for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Who are you?
You might be asking, who am I and why am I up here talking? My name is Paul Porter. For 25 years, I was Tom Noe's partner in producing the finest house concerts in the country.
Yeah.
When Tom died, the day after Tom died, Mary Muse called me and we talked a little bit, and Mary said, we want to put something in the Kerrville program and maybe have a little event. And I said, I'll do it. I have to do it. And
Yep.
I wrote a little something and I sent it to Mary, and she said, that's a lot of words. And I said, I couldn't stop. I just got started. It took a long time to get started.
Could have been longer.
But I couldn't stop. And if you want to read it, it's in the program, and it's this thing right here. And because it has a lot of information about Tom. Most of you know it already. I'm not going to go through this long laundry list. What I decided to do was talk to about 10 or so people that I felt would be at Kerrville that over the years had a significant event at our house.
Okay, Bernice. Unload.
Or had a special relationship with Tom, or something else. Something related to that. And after we do this, I hesitate to call it a formal program or even structured, but after we do this, we'll take a few minutes and form a circle with our chairs, and as long as the residents of Camp Coho will let us stay, we'll sing songs and tell stories about Tom.
Absolutely.
You have to be gone by the day 19.
Perfect.
We have back on the table by where Jack Williams is standing, if he hasn't consumed it all already, Linda brought the remains of Tom's liquor cabinet, and help yourself. We have a pile of Tom's old t-shirts that are back there as well, so there's 15 or 20 t-shirts. Help yourself. We have a photo collage, montage, whatever the right word is, going it back in the back corner, and it's just going to run continuously for however long it runs.
The battery goes out.
So take a look at that. Tom's with us right here.
And
Part of him is with us right here. Anyway, this is Tom.
He was bigger than that.
Hi, Tom.
He was bigger than that.
he's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight.
And if I could
That's about a
read
fifth of it.
what I wrote, that's about, believe it or not, that's about all I have to say.
What's your name again?
Who the hell are you?
And why am I standing here? First up on this little program is our friend Bernice Lewis. When Tom and I put our heads together and decided we were going to help my little struggling effort to do house concerts on a solo basis, and we were going to team up, and I'll tell that story later.
Yep.
We were going to team up. Tom's house was, at that time, several miles outside of Dallas, and we didn't know if people would come that far for a house concert, so we picked the most dynamic person we could think of, and we asked her to come play. And so our first concert, 25 years, was Bernice Lewis. So Bernice, it's your turn.
so gray that I say I love you. Northern wind keeps me and sets my mind to wandering. Laughing eyes, open skies made everything seem new. Morning snow won't stop falling, and I don't feel so brand new. Oh, what I wouldn't give right now for one clear Texas morning with you. Late last night, I lay down on my same old pillow, empty room for company again. Was that you crawling through the cracks in my old pictures, or was it just pictures took me in? Morning snow won't stop falling, and I don't feel so brand new. But I would give right now for one clear Texas morning with you. I don't know where love goes when it goes forever. Does it fly out on a Texas wind? Do you know, does it show how it flows right through me? That Texas wind gets underneath my skin. Morning snow won't stop falling, and I don't feel so brand new. Oh, what I would give right now for one clear Texas morning with you. With you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm deeply honored to, actually the way I remember it is it was I didn't know it was a series that was starting up. I thought it was my
We didn't either.
39th birthday party.
This is a test.
That's right.
See if people would come that far.
That's what I
There might
remember.
have been nudity involved.
But we were told like we could tell a story, and this morning I was like, I don't know if I have any stories to tell about Tom, even though we were really, 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 really good friends. But Tom loved to talk about religion, and I just never had any issues with, everything Tom would say about his upbringing. I would be like, yeah, right. So but then I remembered this event that what did you call it? What event?
Significant
A
event.
significant event that Karen Cameron was gonna. You gonna come up and tell him about it? While I tune this thing, are you gonna play?
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry.
Cold here, let's watch out.
I didn't realize that we were the inspiration for the Wayward Women thing.
Yep.
I actually didn't know that either. No.
Well, so while Bernice may have thought that that particular concert was happening on her 39th birthday, it was actually celebrating my 40th.
Oh, you're older than me.
Yep. She knows.
Good math there,
She knows.
And our dear friend Karen Vick, who could not be here with us, she's in Michigan or something, came wheeling in that day in a brand new Volkswagen
Volkswagen
Cabriolet.
Cabriolet.
Purple convertible,
Convertible.
henceforward known as the Babe-mobile.
And you know, you never really spent much time at the house without spending a lot of time in the hot tub without your clothing on.
Right.
True. So the concert
Ever.
was, ever. So the concert was over, and the girls all decided that we needed to get into the hot tub, which we did, and it was fun. So Bernice, Paulette,
Yep.
who's wave,
Right
Paulette,
over
Hiding in the
there.
corner.
She's hiding.
Karen Vick, and I.
I was the one with no tips.
She did. She's drunk. So we all got in the hot tub, and then we were talking. We were having a pretty good time, and we decided.
Were we drinking?
I don't remember.
Probably.
I refuse to answer that question. Exactly. So we decided it would be a really good idea to take a little ride in the Babe-mobile.
Yeah.
Around
down.
Wiley, Texas.
Around Wiley,
Right.
Texas, around 1 a.m.
Naked.
So we got, well, no, we had our towels because we didn't want to miss it. We didn't want to get Karen's seats wet.
It's a new car.
It was a new car. So we got our towels and put them on the seats, and we got in the car, and we took off. And we rode around to the municipal center. Oh my God. Did the circle drive and came back. When we got back, Tom was on the fence, on top of the with his camera on top of the house concert sign with his camera. So somewhere that ride is documented.
It's in
Yep.
the scrapbooks.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I was hoping it. So, that was kind of the beginning of the Home for Wayward Women. And, you know, Tom was a traveler. So he took a long trip, and he left in charge of his house Karen Vick, Paulette.
These names are getting familiar.
Yes, and another woman named Linda Manley, and myself. By the time Tom called in to check, we had changed the recording on his answering machine, and to let everybody
That's
know
what
it
it
was
was.
Home for Wayward Women, and if they needed to contact Tom, to just leave a message, and when he got back, we make sure he got it. And then when Tom got home, my sweet husband Byron, who is no
Right.
longer with us,
Right.
had made this sign, and it was up on Tom's house. So prior to Tom's house being the Gentle Arms of Eden,
It was the Wayward
it
Home
was
for
the
Women.
home for wayward women.
And if we tried to take that ride in Wiley, Texas today, we would be in the...
We would
You'd
be
be in
in
the
the
clink.
Wiley jail.
You'd be in the
So,
clink.
Butt naked.
at the municipal
We would all be.
I would tell you how.
So, that's it.
Yay, thank you for the story.
Take time, build a strong foundation. Walk each bank in the winter while it's cold. See the strength, the space and separation. There's no finer thing than building bridges that hold. Oh, I am lost in the deepest, darkest part of your heart. The bird flies south for the winter. Saw the fallen logs up for lumber. If forgotten or old. All the stories that you've ever told, the boards nailed down on bridges that hold. Oh, I am lost in the deepest, darkest part of your heart, while the birds fly south for the winter. Stepping stones keep us reaching, reaching, reaching for illusion. Oh, I am lost in the deepest, darkest part of your heart. Birds fly south for the winter.
Yeah.
Thank you, Denise and Janet and Beth. While record keeping was never our strong suit at our house concert, and any records that really were ever kept have been lost to history.
Thank God.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much.
That one. Except for the picture of y'all naked in the car.
Let your imagination run wild. To the best of our recollection, our biggest crowd was somewhere in the neighborhood of 100, 105 people. And that, we give that honor to Michael Elwood and Beth Gallagher.
Correct.
Unfortunately, Michael has not been able to make it tonight. He's working in Austin, and he couldn't come out. But as you well know, Beth Gallagher is here. And Beth is going to come up and
Do something.
do something.
What do you do, Beth? All right.
Do something, Beth.
Do something, Beth.
I should just say Mike says hi and sit down, really. But I've been playing a lot lately, the last few years, starting with my dad, who I had been estranged from like my entire life. And I played the last 6 hours that he could breathe. And this is a song I did for everybody. We all do this one. I'm sure we're all doing this one all the time. And so I just thought I would do it.
Good.
Lovely, Beth.
Thanks, Beth. One Friday, and Jack, what year did you and Mickey play? 98 or 99 down here?
It was either 98 or 97. I can't remember.
One of those 3 years, I came home from work one Friday, and there was a voice. This is in the days of answering machines.
Yeah.
There was a
Message.
message.
Thanks, Linda.
I couldn't get past voicemail. There was a message on my answering machine. Well, I got these messages left all the time from people wanting to play that really were not ready to play for us. So I came home and I hit the machine, and this voice said, "Hi, my name is Jack Williams," and I said, "Meow, meow, 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 meow." And he said, "I book and tour with and play with somebody you may have heard of. His name is Mickey Newberry." Well, I picked myself up off the floor because it was Mickey Newberry he was talking about. And I called him back, and we had a long conversation. I said, "God, I thought Mickey was dead." And he said, "Nearly, but not quite."
True.
And we talked about some stuff and what it would cost and all kinds of things. Well, I went to Uncle Calvin's that night, and I said, "Tom, come here." I said, "I got this call from this guy today." He said he wanted to book Mickey Newberry, and to the best of my knowledge, or what I remember, Tom's response was, "No shit."
Yep.
Anyway, we worked it out, and we had a great time, and a double benefit. We were introduced to Jack Williams, and I no longer said, "Nah, nah, 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 nah."
Exactly.
And we had a house concert with Mickey Newberry, and it just didn't get any better than that for me. Jack, please.
Come on.
Well, I toured with Mickey for the last 7 years of his life, and I played all of his last gigs with him. And I'm surprised when I go around at how many people don't know who he was. But if you remember, Just Dropped In, see what condition my condition was in, Sweet Memories, and San Francisco Mabel Joy. Oh, by the way, when the last time I played for Tom at the house there, one stipulation for me to play there was he would be allowed to sing Mickey Newberry's San Francisco Mabel Joy. I'm not going to sing that one for you because Mickey had a set of pipes on him that was beyond anything. I don't have that kind of singing power. But anyway, Tom was just thrilled to have Mickey come into the house, so we pulled in. Mickey was on oxygen, but that did not diminish his energy or his mouth. This guy could talk. You ask Ronnie Cox and other people who Mickey would call in the middle of the night, and probably Tom. I don't know. I never did find out whether or not Tom was
Susan talked to him numerous times on the phone.
Yep.
I did, yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
But Mickey could, he would just talk for hours. Well, Tom may have known that, but I don't know. But when he got there, we talked for a long time, as I recall. Set me straight if I don't remember the timeline of how this all went. But we came in, and I don't know how long we sat around before Tom decided he wanted to show him to his sleeping quarters, show him to his accommodations. And I was going to go up there with him. Tom said, "No, I'll take him up there." So I just stayed down, and we just stayed in the house and chatted. 3 hours later, Tom, I don't know whether Tom knew what he was getting into, but he came back down, and all Tom did, he walked in, and he had this glazed deer in the headlights. And he just walked in, and he went,
Just got taken.
and it was a wonderful time. It was a wonderful moment. And I'm going to play you one of the only Mickey Newberry songs that I dare to play, and I recorded this one, and this is one of my favorite tunes of his. Tom loved it too. I wish there was a willow tree leaning on a lazy breeze, moving like a midnight train through rainy Georgia. Wish there was a grain of sand sitting in a baby's hand, falling like a diamond chain into the ocean. A willow tree is strong enough to bend. Never like the oak who lives in fear of the wind. Oh, a grain of sand is all I ever wanted to be. Lay me down, let the water wash over me, wash over me. I wish it was an old guitar sitting in a beat-up car, hitting every 2-bit bar from here to Texas. I wouldn't be afraid to call up my old friends. They'd be so glad to see me strung up again. Oh, an old guitar was all I ever wanted to be. Lay me down, let the water wash over me, wash over me. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. Nobody wants to call your name. I'm just another face lost in a crowded street, in a crowded street. Wish it was a willow tree leaning on a lazy breeze, moving like a midnight train through rainy Georgia. I wish it was a grain of sand sitting in a baby's hand, falling like a diamond chain into the ocean. A willow tree is strong enough to bend, never like the oak that lives in fear of the wind. Oh, a grain of sand is all I ever wanted to be. Lay me down and let the water wash over me, wash over me, over me, over me.
One of our, and that's Tom and I and Linda, I think too, one of our favorite songwriters that we ever had was Steve Fisher. And we had Steve, I don't know, maybe more times than anybody else. I'll say that's official, so it is official.
So decreed.
Again, the records have been lost to history and nobody can dispute it really.
There you go.
I probably could, but
You're the only one.
Steve would even show up occasionally, he'd be in town or passing through and he'd show up for a show and just sit in the audience and listen. And so, well, here's Steve Fisher.
There you are.
yeah. All right.
Well, I like to say that I think the touch of the liquor cabinet back there, stunningly perfect. And
All the McAllen's gone yet?
no, I had some of the. That's going to be the problem. I had some of the Jim Beam, and oh my God, the two things that have already just killed me was that, and of course seeing that when I walked up. Because I think '97, Paul, the first time I played, and I was in San Francisco, living at the time, and
What are you doing now?
He's
He's not in San
so
Francisco.
anyway,
Not living at the time.
man, me
he's
trying
not
to hold
living
it
now.
together is hard enough. No, shh. So anyway, I'm living in San Francisco, and I took the train back and forth a lot at the time to Texas because they didn't have a car. Well, I knew this guy out there, and somebody hit him, and it wrecked this sweet little Volkswagen hatchback. I think it was an '87. And the front fender was smashed into the tire. So he said, I'm buying a new car. I'm not going to bother to fix that. You can have it if you want. So I said, yes, I want. I pulled the fender off and put a new tire on it, and it was good to go. And so I drove it all the way from San Francisco to Dallas. I pulled up in front of this sign, and Tom came out to meet me, and I think he got the biggest kick when I said, "Look at my new car."
Without a fender.
It's a
Gaping hole.
fender.
Yep.
And we proceeded to sit down and talk about. We had engineering backgrounds together. We were both raised in the Church of Christ, and what I admired about Tom at the time was he had definitely progressed much farther than I had at the time of breaking free of those, whatever you want to call them.
Ties that bind.
And so I played him as I played, and he fell in love and asked if he could learn the "That's My Toy" song, which many of you know and I won't bother you with, but he learned that, and I was truly honored by that. And we rode motorcycles together. He always had, like, you know, more than one in the garage, and they were no kidding.
Just about.
And so one time I was there, and I hadn't had a bike for a few years, and he says, "Let's go for a ride." And we go out in the garage, and he said, "This one's yours if you want to ride it." And it was like a brand new Triumph 900. And you know the driveway out to the road, and you get out to the road, and it's now, this was not that many years ago, and you get out to the road and there's all that traffic, and so I haven't ridden in a while, and I'm on this brand new, I don't know, $15,000 Triumph, and no, it's fine, let's go, and I get on it, and I'm shaky on the gravel drive, and then we turn out on the road and we're gone, and it was a wonderful day. But in that, no, that wasn't my last concert there, I think. My last concert there was when the Tuvan Throat Singers opened for me.
Throat Singers.
Yes,
And that was amazing. And on that trip, I was getting ready to leave, and we were talking about songs. He said, "Before you go, play that one about Before the World Was Round." And I go,
"What?
Man, I don't remember that song at all." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I never liked the ending of it, which I still don't, and I'll play it anyway." But the cool thing is there was a resurrection that happened that day, whether he believed in those or not, and certainly what it doesn't matter, because we don't know anyway, and one day we might. So anyway, he goes, "I've got that song." So he pulls out his notebook and he opens straight to the song. I guess I had written the words and the chord changes down, and he had typed it up, and there it was in his collection of songs, and I took a photograph of it, and because of that, I guess I can still half-ass play it.
Excellent.
I tried once today, anyway. Funny how things go. Just look at all we used to know. Back before the world was round, when it took a virgin sacrifice to make our angry gods play nice. It was back before the world was round, when evil spirits lived in trees, like the one that tempted Eve. It was back before the world was around, and across the broad reach of time. Well, it's funny how you find the things that never change, like our fear of the dark, and our gods with angry hearts, and the sacrifices we offer to their names. Well, then some prophets come along, humming a brand new song, still back before the world was around. They said, "Savior Virgin will take her son. His blood will get the job done and save a few of us in this here town." Well, the story grew, 'cause the Romans said it was true. Still back before the world was round, and across the broad reach of time. Funny how you find the things that never change, like our fear of the unknown, the shallow gods on distant thrones, and our little babies born into sin and shame. Imagine a little baby born into sin and shame. Well, superstitions and thread-worn tales of heavens and hells, we believed all that when the world was flat. But now it's time to wake up from this dream where we have not learned a thing. Our heads buried so long in the ground. Oh, but maybe we could shine a light on what goes bump in the night, and maybe finally see the world is round. Yeah, the light of love makes the world go round. Well, it's a love makes the world go round. Love probably save everyone in this town. Yeah, love will make the world go round. Love will make the world go round. Love, not fear, makes your world go round.
That's not such a bad ending, is it?
No.
Not such a bad ending at all. Do you want a chair? Are you going to bring your chair up?
I've got this.
Oh, okay.
But I need Deirdre.
Is that's her right
Deirdre back there.
Okay.
Hey, Deirdre.
Most of y'all know that Tom really loves his women friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did.
And I think as much or more than any of his women friends, he loved my wife, Susan Gervin.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And I just always got such joy out of watching them together when they would hug and when they would whisper in each other's ears. And I only learned recently what Tom was whispering in Susan's ear, and that was something along the lines of, "You need to dump that stupid husband of yours." And I don't know if it was run off with me or live with Tom and Linda. I don't know the ending. I'm just glad she never followed up on that suggestion. So, well, here's my wife, Susan Gervin.
I have to tell you stories about Tom. First of all, I am the only non-performer of this whole group of people tonight. So you know, and the reason that I'm here is that I really love Tom Noe. And he really loved me, and he loved to hear me sing.
Because you're great, that's
Well,
why.
thank you, darling. Thank you. I don't know about that, but I know that, you know, when people touch each other's hearts, there isn't anything else that's more important than that. And I don't even know how many ways Tom and I touched one another or crossed one another. I don't know. Well, the first time I ever met him, he wanted me to teach him to sing harmony. How the hell do you teach someone to sing harmony? I don't know how to do it. I know how to sing harmony because that's the way you hear it and you do it. But you know, I don't know. But you know, we rode to Kerrville on our motorcycles a couple times together, and we went through wineries together. We went to motorcycle shows together, and I don't even know. I can tell you, Tom and I would stand out in he had trees in the back, and there were a lot more trees there in the old days, you know, and there would be fireflies floating among the trees, and I would make Tom go out there with me to look at the fireflies, and he would talk to me about the trees, and I would tell him there was one tree there that was sort of the spokesperson for the other trees, and you know, so we'd talk about that. And I don't know. I just love the man. That's all I can tell you. And Deirdre is so kind as to have agreed to play this song with me. So let's see if we can get through it.
We'll play a first chord so I can make sure I.
Oh, and my guitar's not really all that in tune either.
That's sharp.
I'll just come up to you. Almost there. I'll just say that because I was a cellist, I immediately bonded with Linda and Tom. And he was always the most generous spirit. Many times if I drove up to be at a concert at their home, they would put us up. They fed us, they loved us, but he always had a big hug and a smile for me and took me into his heart as no one else could. Only he could, because he was married to a beautiful cellist. Oh, thank you.
Ooh, it's not in tune, is it?
It's me. It's flat.
That's flat.
You want a tutor?
Nah.
We'll have to start over then.
Are we close enough?
Strum it.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about this song. This song, when Tom died, and I posted on the website about the loss of Tom and what that was meaning to me, somebody, an old friend of mine who never knew Tom, sent me this song, and it's written by a woman named Libby Roderick. Some of you may know of her. I have never heard of her. This is her song, and it's just, that's all.
I would say step up a little so to be sure everybody can hear you. Thank you.
Well, let's see if we can get the...
You'll find it.
I will. It's a holy thing, a human thing, to love what death can take. It's a human thing to love the thing whose loss will cause your heart to break. It's a funny thing, we can't stop ourselves even as we wait for the final hush. It's a human thing, a funny thing, a holy thing to love. I once loved a human being and then watched him slip away. Fist smashed through my grand design. I would sit alone and I could not pray. But sometimes on a sleepless night, silent, frozen inside my fears, angels came and circled me, sang a song only spirit hears.